I'm Nathan Krafft, and today we're going to be talking about Auralert, the epilepsy assistant. Now, to kind of set the stage a little bit, imagine that it's a cool Friday afternoon. You're going to invite some friends over to go chill in your hot tub. You're all sitting there having a good time, and your friends decide to all go inside and refill up on their drinks and snacks and use the restroom. You're out there all by yourself, and then you go unconscious for 3 to 5 minutes. This is a real situation that epileptics have to consider in their day-to-day lives. So they live a much more smaller and more careful life than people without the condition don't realize. This situation actually recently occurred in this girl right here. She's a 21-year-old from Prescott, Arizona, and you might recognize the man on her right because that is the current mayor of Prescott, Arizona. So it's not just some no-name random few group of people who have this condition. A lot of people suffer from it across the globe. And I think we need to be a little more aware of these people and what they have to go through in their day-to-day life. So some basic facts and statistics. Over their lifetime, 1 in 26 people in the United States will be diagnosed, and it's the 4th most common neurological condition in the country. A little more globally, about 1 in every 100 UK residents will have epilepsy, and worldwide, about 1 in every 50 will have epilepsy at some point. So when you consider the population of these countries and the globe, of 7 billion people, 1 in 50 is still millions of people. So it's not just, again, a really small subculture. This is an active group, a large prevalent group of people in the world. So there's 3 main types of seizures. There's focal, generalized, and epileptic spasms. Focal seizures are the most common because they're about 60% of all seizures. They're much more mild symptoms of last about 1 to 2 minutes, but you can be conscious during these, and people around you won't even notice. These generalized seizures, these are experienced by 30% of epileptics. There's about 5 different subcategories based on what type of movement you have during the episode. But generally, it's just when your body stiffens up and your muscles begin to have spasms. And they're much more severe and last about 3 minutes because you probably aren't conscious during these. So it's going to be much more, harmful to you because you're not going to be aware of what's going on, and you can hurt yourself. And lastly, there's epileptic spasms. So generalized and focal seizures all correspond to levels of irregular brain activity. Focal, like one area, generalized is multiple. Epileptic has nothing to do with that. About 20% of patients experience these, and these are just one-off muscle spasms throughout the body. And they're called infantile spasms because they're much more common in really little kids, but they can similarly be present in adults. It's just considered a different condition. So Auralert's a mobile phone application that uses biometric data to predict when a user will have a seizure and relay the information to loved ones, doctors, and paramedics. So even if a person with epilepsy, takes their medication, goes to the doctor, manages their health, gets mental health, eats the best, works out the best, the condition never truly goes away. They'll just be able to manage it, but there's still going to be that random chance of they're still going to have seizures, maybe not as frequently, but they're still going to have them. It's just a matter of when. So Auralert would basically act as a buddy system to basically monitor your vitals to check, okay, when are you, based on your history, when are you probably going to have a seizure based on what your body's telling you. Typically, the way Auralert's going to work is depending on how frequently you have seizures. If they're not as frequent, it'll just generate a phone call to your doctor's office or medical records. But if you have less frequent, more severe ones, it'll contact your doctor directly. And again, paramedics and loved ones according to how you set it. So the ecosystem starts with the Zio patch. The Zio patch is worn for about 2 weeks over the patient's heart, and it closely monitors their heart rate and heart activity with thousands of pages of data once it's done. There's also a mobile watch component to it. So in the system, the Zio patch would communicate directly with Auralert to basically build a predictive model on your vitals to decide, okay, when he's about to have a seizure, this is what his vitals look like. And again, as you use the app and keep wearing your smartwatch afterwards, it'll build a better predictive model. And you can go straight to using the smartwatch if you want, but ideally you start with the Zio patch. And again, the smartwatch is going to use, your GPS and your gyroscope to measure your body movements and where you are just to try to predict what sort of stimuli or when is he acting kind of weird. This might be, time he's going to have a seizure soon. So to go through a little bit of a live walkthrough, this is the homepage. So you're going to be able to log in from here. On the homepage, you'll get a live feed of your current heart rate along with your low, high, and average for the day so far, with a little graph on the bottom to kind of visualize that data for the user. Then there you're going to go to the health data tab. Here you're going to see that same graph of health data for heart rate. You'll also be able to tab between today, week, month, and year for better, longer history data. And the same thing with your blood pressure, because you're going to monitor your blood pressure with a Bluetooth blood pressure cuff throughout the day, if you choose to. Then lastly is your history. You're going to be able to tab between different months and see your history. Purple means you have an episode. Blue is today. So if you tap on a purple icon, you're going to be able to see an episode report, again, using that same data collected to kind of tell you what kind of seizure was, how long it lasted, what might have been the cause of it. Then lastly is your alerts tab. This is where you're going to see a live feed of messages from your family circle, along with chronological alerts that everyone got to see, just encouraging messages. And then also you'll be able on this page to add family members using a randomly generated code that they'll use to sign in with. And that works. Okay, that works because you'll be able on this home page to click the I'm Family purple button. And from here, you'll be able to input a 4-digit login code that the user gave you and log in. From there, you'll be able to just manage your current heart rate and see all those vitals that they can, along with the health data, and also be able to see that same alert tab. Though you're not going to be able to see their calendar data, but you will still get that connectivity and be able to see what they're up to without trying to babysit them. And that's kind of the thing we want to go with Auralert. There'll also be a web app version which will allow you to input more data in your episode reports in case new information arises as you talk about it with your doctor to help again improve that predictive model. And also have an Apple Watch version which is mostly just there to monitor your vitals and give you alerts. So to market this, we're going to use the campaign Don't Just Live, Thrive, which is going to encourage epileptic people to use this application to improve their quality of life with corresponding imagery. So we'll be able to advertise in doctor's offices such as this one, the social media campaigns, and also use retractable posters for charity events, medical conferences, and again, doctor's offices. So who's going to use this app? Well, this is Gregory. He's 48. He's from Omaha, Nebraska as an IT specialist. He has a wife and 3 kids, and he's been diagnosed with epilepsy ever since he had a stroke 3 years ago. His children all live very active lifestyles, and his wife works full-time. So he often can't drive himself around or do anything really by himself without his family worrying. And he doesn't want to take public transportation just because he's not really pleased with the network it sets up and where it can take him, the quality of it. And even though he's legally cleared to drive, there's still that unpredictability of when am I going to have an episode and what happens if I'm driving and I leave my family. So this will just give him a more peace of mind to live a more independent lifestyle while also staying connected with his family. And next we have Martin. He's 19 and he's a sophomore at Cal Baptist. He's currently single and he's been diagnosed with epilepsy in the last year. It's very common for college kids to get diagnosed with epilepsy or that age range. He wants to be safe, but he also wants to live that college lifestyle with his friends and go out and have fun, experience new things, go to games and that sort of thing. But he doesn't want to ever put himself or his friends in a situation where they're going to get hurt. Say he's, driving them home from a football game and he has an episode, or he's out, out at the pool with his friends. What happens if he has an episode? So this is going to give him a little more peace of mind. And his family also is from Grand Forks, North Dakota. So they're not necessarily nearby to have a very close support network, but at least with this application, they'll be able to support him and know about his data just to help kind of, stay connected with them and help, encourage him and give him a better support group. So here are my references, and thank you so much for watching.